Before he died, Ruby's stepdad emphasized one crucial survival tool: thinking before acting. However, that seemed to be the one thing Ruby didn't do. Hello, welcome to another book review. I'm your host, Kristen, and today I'll be reviewing the apocalyptic young adult book, H2O, also known as The Rain in the UK, by Virginia Bergen. Yes, for some reason, it was published in the US under a different title. I'm not sure why, considering The Rain had a sequel, and giving it a separate name in the US doesn't let the series titles flow as smoothly. In case you're interested in buying the book afterward, content warnings are blood/violence, mild gore, child death, sickness, and animal injury/death. I will start with the overall plot, then writing, world building, and finding the characters. Also, this review will be spoiler-free until this time, so if you want to avoid spoilers, I recommend stopping before the timestamp. Now that those notes are out of the way, let's begin! The main plot of H2O is that Ruby must go on a journey to find her dad in London. This is after a house party where she and her friends learn that anyone caught in the rain will die due to a microphage. All the while, during Ruby's journey, the rain continues to threaten to pour down when she least expects it. Although the start of the plot and the premise of poison rain seems good from the summary, the plot execution fumbled with it. First of all, Ruby takes forever to decide that she is going to find her father. Instead, after everyone around her dies, Ruby meanders around, going on shopping sprees for now useless items like makeup and jewelry. This is what she does for weeks, instead of listening to her stepfather's advice and forming a long-term game plan. Ruby finally only decides to go to London because her town is running low on drinkable water and she has little elsewhere to go. Although this isn't unrealistic, backing Ruby into a corner like this makes her lose agency. It would have been better for her to decide to head to London with her stepfather and then have her stepfather pass away en route. Furthermore, after Ruby decides to go on her trip, she blunders through it with little to no plan. Her disorganization almost gets several other people with her killed, and it only gets more frustrating from there. I'll talk more about that in the spoiler section. I'll be honest, I did not care for the writing style at all. I get what the author was going for in trying to give Ruby a unique, strong voice, but the way it came across was unappealing, and I dare to say, felt slightly condescending. By stretching out Ruby's words and making her constantly snarky, it felt like the author was somewhat talking down to the audience, especially when the writing goes out of its way to insult smart people and reading. What also annoyed me was Ruby not wanting to swear, and instead replacing all the swear words with a symbol in her journal to cover it up. I got her motive for not wanting to cuss to honor the rules of her deceased mom, and the fact that the genre is YA, but this is the apocalypse. Some swearing is very needed and necessary at the supposed end of the world. Without a few swear words here and there by a teenager, it felt a tad hard to take the story seriously. Besides the rain being deadly, there isn't much world building. There are a few hints of the apocalypse, like people looting stores, and the reader does meet a gang of outsiders for a minute. However, most of the book is just Ruby wandering around and barely interacting with people. There was a detail in the book that was also very confusing when it came to the microphage. The reason why the rain was able to kill people was because once the phage came into contact with human skin, it was able to enter the bloodstream and would eat all the iron in the body. However, although it was mentioned that said phage wasn't picky, For some reason, it didn't affect animals. Though this is brought up by Ruby, it was never explained, which made it feel like a plot hole. As the MC, Ruby was frustrating, to say the least. Her attitudes toward the entire situation was awful, as she was more concerned about losing her cell phone and looking nice when people around her were dying. For instance, when Ruby first arrives home from the party, her parents are forced to quarantine her in order to make sure she cannot pass the sickness on to them, as not much is known about it yet. Even though it is only for one night, and for everyone's safety, Ruby throws a massive tantrum. She goes as far as to break one of her stepdad's prized possessions, even though she knows it will be hurtful. Ruby also complains about her raincoat making her look ugly and wears it as little as possible. Never mind the fact that she is outside in England and a single drop of rain could kill her. Before he died, Ruby's stepdad emphasized one crucial survival tool: thinking before acting. However, that seemed to be the one thing Ruby didn't do. Instead, she made the most ridiculous choices possible, which often put not only her, but others in danger as well. For example, she dragged her and her group to sleep in a greenhouse, and everyone was nearly caught in the sprinklers the next morning. The thing is, I don't mind not liking Ruby. Not every single MC has to be likable in order to be a good protagonist. That said, even if the MC isn't the nicest person, they still have to bring something of value to the table, especially in a group survival situation that at least has the reader be able to tolerate the character. Ruby, however, puts people in danger and has an awful attitude on top of it. I'm going to lump Ruby's stepdad and another secondary character, Darius, into the same section due to what they have in common, in that they are both the sweetest, most caring people, but are treated like garbage by Ruby for little reason. Ruby's stepdad tries his best to help her survive, even though she doesn't listen to any of his instructions and constantly argues with him. Even when Ruby breaks one of her stepdad's most prized possessions, he doesn't get mad at her and allows her to have any of the water they find first. As for Darius, not only does he have to deal with Ruby's constant whining, but Ruby insults him every chance she gets and dehumanizes him in her mind. She calls him by his last name, even though Darius doesn't ask her to. Ruby also snarks at him for being a nerd and wanting to be safe from the rain. All in all, these nice characters are not done justice. Alright, now on to the spoilers. I'll give anyone 3 seconds to clear out if you want to keep this book spoiler free. 1, 2, 3. And here we go! Out of all the events, the ending disappointed me the most. Ruby stumbles upon the army base, is taken in, then kicked out due to having no skills that were considered useful. In short, Ruby ends up back at her house, waiting for her dad. This part frustrated me. If Ruby was going to end up in the same place, under the same circumstances, with no character growth, then what was the point of Ruby going on her journey in the first place? Overall, I give this book 2 stars. Although there were some entertaining bits, and the premise was great, the characters made this book fall flat. I hope Virginia Bergen will keep improving her craft, and wish her the best of luck on her writing journey.